Welcome back, mamas. Y'all, today we are going to talk about surrender. This might be a word that even the thought of it is something that you will resist, but it is something that can be so beneficial and bring you that peace of mind. It can bring you that presence that you are looking for in your life. So let's get to it. Do you wish you had control of your days, that you had a rhythm, but instead feel overwhelmed, scattered, and like there's never enough time? You're in the right place. I'm Danielle, a recovering workaholic, wife, and stay-at-home mom of two girls. I've learned how to reclaim my time and find purpose and freedom so I can be present with my kids and feel like myself again. Here, we embrace where we are, but we don't stay there. So if you're ready to trade the chaos for clarity, the guilt for grace, and the endless to-do list for aligned flow, grab the kiddos a snack and toss in that laundry because I know you're multitasking, and let's do this because your time, your purpose, and you matter. Okay, mamas. So today I want to talk to you about surrender. Surrender is a word that I used to struggle with. It is something that is hard, right? Seems like a hard thing. It seems like a weak thing to surrender. At least it always did to me. But over the past year, surrender is a word that I felt very drawn to, very connected to, very much like it is something that I am supposed to be doing to God, right? Like I'm surrendering to Him, surrendering my life, surrendering, just a lot of things in my life to Him. And I was wondering how this applied to moms. And I was thinking about how impactful surrender is to being present, right? Which is what we talked about on Tuesday. If you did not listen to Tuesday's episode and you are yearning to be more present in your moments, more present with your kids, but just in every moment of your life, I talked about a lot of ways to do that. And surrendering is one of those ways, right? It is not something that we really talked about on Tuesday. And I wanted to talk about it today because I feel like it is super important. I feel like it is something that, especially during this holiday season, but as moms, we can resist surrendering, right? I know if you're anything like me, we can always want to be in control, right? We want to control everything. And so surrendering seems like the opposite of what we would want to do, and we resist it. And it's something that we might consider as weak, but it actually takes a lot of strength to surrender, right? It takes a lot of obedience, at least in my case, to God, right? It takes a lot of trust in just the fact that things will work out, right? So I'm going to start with a quote here. This one is from Eckhart Tolle that says, "Surrender to what is. Say yes to life and see how life suddenly starts working for you rather than against you." So when we say yes to life, when we surrender to it, right, it starts working for us. It stops working against us. I saw another quote somewhere by someone that said it talked about a fish in the current, right? Going with the current as opposed to going against it. We are surrendering to the current, right? We are going with life. Whatever life is bringing to us, we are going with it. Not saying that we can't form our own path or, do something different than the norm. But saying, especially in this holiday season, if you are involved with, family and situations where you are going to be not really wanting to be there, or you're not really wanting to participate or to do some of the things that you probably need to do, or you feel like you have to do, right? Sometimes if we just surrender to it instead of resisting it, then it will just start working in our favor. We are going with the current instead of trying to resist it and really, being unhappy about whatever it is that we have to do, or being unhappy about, if it's for the kids' school or if it's for a project that you're doing for Christmas or someone's house that you have to go to that you don't really want to go to for the holidays. If it's a holiday party, if it's your spouse's work party, whatever it is, just say yes to life and start working with it and start not resisting it, but just surrendering to what's going on and see how that can work for you. I have another Eckhart Tolle quote that says, whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it, always working with it, not against it. So it's that same exact vein of thinking where we're going to accept what we have been given or what we are dealing with or what situation we're presented with. And we are going to work with it instead of trying to work against it. And being present in the moment, this is a perfect way to do that, right? Because when we are working against something, when we are resisting it, we are constantly thinking about how we can get out of the situation or how we can, either avoid it altogether, or if we're in the situation, we're thinking about getting out of the situation, right? If we're, at a party that we don't want to be at, we're thinking about when can we leave? Or if we're doing something that we don't want to be doing with the family, we're thinking, okay, when can I escape? Or when is my out, right? Instead of just accepting it as if you've chosen to be there, as if this is something that you actually wanted to do, right? And embracing it and working with it, not against it. Right? It is a perfect way in order to be in the present moment. It is a perfect way if you're trying to be more present to actually be more present in your moment, to actually be able to focus on what it is. Like, I chose to be here. Okay, why do I want to be here? And you'll start looking for reasons of why you actually would want to be there. And you might start seeing some positives. You might start enjoying yourself. Who knows, right? When you surrender to the situation, where you surrender to what it is that you have to do, your to-do list, all of the checklists, all of the presents wrapping, all of the things, and you figure out a way that you can actually embrace it and work with it as opposed to working against it. Right? This is a huge mindset shift that if you just get over that it's weak or it's, something that you would never do because you need to control everything, right? And you just surrender, it is very freeing. It is very freeing. I have another quote here. This one is a Bible verse, and it says, it's from Matthew. It's chapter 11, verses 28 through 30. Letting go doesn't mean doing nothing. It means resting while you move forward in obedience. So letting go or surrendering, that leads to a peace, right? It leads to this peace. You don't have to, just surrender and just completely be passive about it, right? You can actually still move forward, right? In obedience, like for me and a lot of things that I've been doing, I'm moving forward in obedience to what I believe that God is telling me to do. So I'm still taking action. I'm still moving forward. I'm still doing things, but I'm surrendering to what I feel like He is calling me to, as opposed to me trying to strive or achieve or whatever. I'm resting, right? I'm not going about it in such a way where I'm striving and trying to achieve. I'm able to rest and know this is going to lead to a peace that you are going to be able to feel, which will allow you to be more present in your moments, right? We don't have to be completely passive. You don't have to just surrender to everything, right? But things that are out of your control, things that you probably should be doing, they're things that you should deep down be doing, but you might be resisting. Things that you are, have to do, like all the to-dos and all of that, instead of resisting it all and getting all worked up and, trying to figure out how to get out of it or whatever, let's just take a minute and just say, okay, what if I chose this? What if I, wanted to do all this? What would it look like if I was present while I am doing these things? And how can I create a enjoyment out of it? I hope this is making sense because it is so counterintuitive, or at least it was to me before I started to do this. And now that I have started to rest more, to really reflect more, to surrender to, what I believe God wants me to do, and to surrender to just how my life is right now. Right? Instead of trying to change everything and strive and be a control freak all the time and, do all of the things that I always used to do, that weren't leading to the peace that I wanted to feel and me being present, which is exactly what we're talking about this week, right? They lead to all of those things that I was doing lead to the opposite of that, right? They lead to stress. They lead to chaos. They lead to me being scattered. They lead to me being short and frustrated and losing my temper more easily and different things like that. And what I really wanted was peace, right? And so surrender is an open door to peace, right? It is an open door to peace. And it is something that will allow you to be more present in your moments. And so I wanted to keep this episode really short and sweet this week, and hopefully this will land with you and you will be able to maybe absorb it a little bit and maybe try surrendering to little things that you're doing. Try it here and there. Doing this might seem foreign to you at first, but if you try it, I believe you will see how freeing it can be. And I want to end with one last quote here from Deepak Chopra that says, "To surrender is to open oneself to the divine flow." It's to open yourself to the divine flow, because when we are in this posture of surrender and when we are in this way of like wanting to actually get something productive or achieve peace, or when we're working with things instead of working against them, it opens up this opportunity for other things to come from that, right? This divine flow, this influx of good in your life, this way of thinking that just perpetuates because you are in this posture of being able to receive it. When we are always going, right? When we are stressed out, when we are frustrated, when we are overworked, overstimulated, over everything, right? Overwhelmed, completely overwhelmed, and we feel like a hot mess all of the time, we aren't opening ourselves up to the things that we actually want in our lives. And so when we are doing things like this and being present and working on all of this, it opens up this opportunity for things to flow into your life that you wouldn't have been able to receive if you weren't in that place, right? Because you would have been just blocking all of that. And this may all sound like next level stuff. Like, I don't know if I'm ready for this yet, right? Just try it a little bit. But I do know that there is a path that is going to probably take to get to you to this point where you are able to just surrender, right? And that is what we do in my coaching, right? I take you on this path. It's a roadmap to where you want to go, right? We talk about your true north. We figure out what's important to you. We figure out what your strengths are, what your core values are, the things in life that you want and you want for your family, for yourself and for your family. And we lay out this path to get you there. And so this might seem like it is something that you don't even know how you could begin to surrender and just start doing this, right? This definitely does take some time and some work and some rest and some reflection. And if you need help with that, I would love to help you to get to that place where you can actually do this in your life, because it is kind of one of those things that's easier said than done when you are walking around always overwhelmed and overstimulated and burnt out and you just feel like a hot mess all of the time. It is a really tough place to be able to do some of these things. And so I just want to say that if you need that help, I would love to walk that path with you. Go to my website, prioritizewithpurpose.com, sign up for a prioritization clarity call where we will walk through this together. And I will see you guys right back here next week. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, Mama. If so, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and then hit share and send this to a mom who needs this in her day. I'll meet you right back here next week. Keep smiling, y'all.